sea. Catching fish is where I'll be, come rain or sunny skies. I'm gonna grab my fishing line, yes, we're taking out some time. That's fishing. This has been a fishing tale, just like Jonah and the whale. No place I'd rather be. Yes, we're casting out a line, everybody's feeling fine. That's fishing. That's fishing.
Well, g'day.
Yeah, that's fishing.
Okay, wait. Zip. And welcome to today's fishing. I'm John Willis. They call me the Bear and I don't know why. But we're out on Katrina Louise in beautiful downtown Western Port. Yes, they can also call me Two Rods for some reason. Oops. Yeah, we got Sandy from Sandy's Bait in Seaford down here with us today. Mr. Bundy over there, who's just the comical relief. And of course the boat's general skipper, Captain Blackjack, John Lindholm as well. There's a few whiting just started. We've only just got here. It's nice and bright and early. The tide's just turned. We've got a nice big high tide here and a dropping tide all morning. And we've already got a half a dozen whiting in the boat and a couple of good ones just starting to appear. It's just after Christmas and we've been on to the schoolies probably since about September. But the bigger fish have just started, so we've been starting to get a few in the 40 to 44 centimetre range instead of the 30s, 32s to 36s. So all we've got to do is catch some for you now, but we'll do it.
You know, just on a couple of the things we use for the whiting. In Western Port, we prefer the mussels or pippies or a bit of calamari, a little strip of calamari as a backup bait. But your fresh mussels, fresh pippies, these are supplied by Sandy's. I'm very happy with the quality. But just a small bait, you don't want a big bait on the hook because the bigger the bait, the easier it is for the fish to get it off. So you keep it reasonably small. A bit of mussel and then tip that with a little bit of cuttlefish or squid, and you'll find that if you get a bite and you miss it, they'll come back for the other bait. Traditionally, the mussels seem to fire better in here at different times of the year. The pippies will work in the winter mainly, but in the summer we like the mussels because it's something that they can't get enough of them. Every now and then when you're whiting fishing, it pays to move your bait because what they're doing, they'll come along. They've got an undershot jaw, they'll pick up a bit of the bottom, they'll spit it out and then they'll come back and see if there's anything worth eating. So that first tap you get, that's when they're sort of sucking up the bottom, spitting it out. It's like a phone call. You get ring, ring, that's the call to say, I'm here, I'm interested. The first ring of the second set, if you hit on that, you'll most of the time catch your fish. If you miss it, it'll go through the message bank and there's nobody home. But yeah, that's the way I explain it to the customers because a lot of people struggle catching whiting, and once you work out the technique, they're not hard to catch. Unfortunately, the ones that we're catching at the moment have all gone quiet because they're camera shy, but they'll come back.
Ring, ring.
Oh, it's still coming.
Ring, ring. Oh, it's good fish. Good
Yep,
fish.
boy. What have we got here, Sandy?
These are good fish.
Nice fish.
That's how we do it, mate.
This is one of Western Port's King George whitings, not to be confused with those little Prince Georges. This will probably be a 38, 39 centimetre fish.
Or
when you're grabbing them, just behind the eyes, they're slippery. Hold them firm, and you can do whatever you need to do with them.
That was on a cuttlefish strip.
And there's the beauty of using a selection of baits, a strip of cuttlefish with a little bit of mussel or pippy on it. That's a beautiful King George whiting, destined for tea. I can almost taste him. As I was saying before, where we're fishing now, we're in about 30 foot of water and the tide's starting to run fairly hard. We've upped our sinker sizes to 3 ounces. The rigs we're using, we'll probably show you a little bit later on when we're not catching fish. But what we do is just tie a loop and just put it on a dropper loop. When the water's running really hard and you've got to use any bigger than a 3 ounce sinker, if you put a 4 ounce sinker on that dropper loop, you'll tend to drop a lot of fish because they'll use that sinker like a de-hooker. So if you're fishing any heavier than 3 ounces, I suggest you use a running sinker rig. This is the loop we use, and it's an easy one. It's just a loop. You just poke the loop over the sinker, just take it off like so, and it's easy to change. It's another reason I like to use this. You haven't got as much hardware in the water, and if there's weed around, anything else you put in with snap swills and things like that will attract the weed. So
Just while we're doing it too, we just call this a charter rig down here. It's the easiest damn thing to tie in the world. Just a couple of little beads makes a difference, or a little bit of red strip, something like that. I fished with some people the other day who were using a little fly attractor as well and did very, very well. But that little bit of attractor on the hook does very well. I use a Longshank 6 most of the time, but I like the bait hold, the bait keeper, the little cuts on the shaft as well. I think you can see there's been a fish having a go at that, but it's still holding the bait on very well right up the shaft. And we just tie the traces, keep them hanging in the cabin, and usually you get your swivel back. So it's easy. You can retie your rig in a couple of minutes, and when you've got a heap of people on a charter, it makes a lot of difference. Bait in the water catches more fish. Let's do it.
John, again.
Again, yet again. And it's ting.
Oh,
It's a ting. There you go. How about that?
very nice.
The old bear can catch fish.
Yeah. Rumours had it that you couldn't.
No, lots of rumours, mate.
Oh, they're thick.
another one over behind us.
Really thick now.
And Sandy, you actually catch fish too, mate.
Yeah, apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
the sun.
But it's a red one. There you go,
Oh, little pinky.
little pinky.
Now, the interesting thing there was, I've been fishing with mussel and cuttlefish the whole time. Didn't get a bite, except a little pinky. Changed to pippy, straight away. Hit the bottom, bang, bang, whiting. Could have been us.
A lot of the time when you're fishing for whiting, you'll find that they're going to hit it as soon as it hits the bottom. A great way of alleviating losing your bait as soon as it goes down is to let the line run through your fingers. As soon as it hits the bottom, hold onto it, then close the bail arm. Quite often you'll feel that bite. You can actually strike while you're holding it. A lot of time on charters I'll see it, people say there's no fish here. They'll put their line in, I'll see the bite. As soon as it drops down, they're sitting there for 5 or 10 minutes with no bait on. No bait, no fish. So you've got to refine your technique. There's a lot of people that struggle catching whiting. Uncle Bear, I've taught him
I
well.
do it pretty hard.
The other
though.
rod too, the other rod.
Yeah.
He's got two.
The only trouble is he can't wind 2 at a time.
Do you want to see me try? I've got to turn one of the reel handles over the other side though. One for each side.
This is a better
that's
thing.
a better
That's
white.
a better fish.
That's a
Oh,
nice
that's a
ting.
nice
Look at
fish.
him. Eh? He's going to go about 30 up.
That's fishing. Yeah, that's fishing.
Welcome back, folks. While we're sitting here waiting for the fish to come back on, we've got Sandy from Sandy's Bait, and we're just going to show you a couple of his products. This is whiting burley. He's got a couple of blends of it. This is a dry mix. This is a wet mix. What he's got here, he's got pippy shells, mussel shells, mulched pilchards,
Mussel
chook pellets, and mussel meat,
yeah.
bit of pippy meat. These are made basically for your small boat anglers who use those little plastic burley pots, so that we're using a different system. We've got a big block that goes into a specific size pot. Not everyone's got one of these. Great product. He doesn't use tuna oil in them because, like me, I think tuna oil attracts a lot of unwanted guests. You'll end up bringing flathead and toadies and that around. Does have its place. Everybody has their own opinion, but I don't mind this. This is a great mix. It's got a lot of glitter in it. And what you're trying to do with whiting is attract their attention. The smell, all the bits of food and everything, that's great, but that bit of glitter seems to get their attention, and away you might go. This is a particularly nice looking brew. You can nearly eat that yourself. And his baits, he does a range of baits. We shouldn't have opened them all up. Pre-shelled mussels, pre-shelled pippies. I mean, you don't get any easier than that. And cuttlefish.
Mate.
Strip of cuttlefish is always a good standby for a whiting. A lot of the time when they're going well, all you really need to use is a bit of cuttlefish. If you can get them going,
We're on.
you'll have to
Sorry to interrupt you, fellas.
You're a hog, aren't you? You're a rod hog.
That was your rod, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. But anyway,
About the bait.
Now you don't know where you were.
yeah, look, we're out in Western Port and we're just catching snapper.
Just one we prepared earlier. Again, just a little bugger.
Oh, little
Catch that.
pinky.
Sorry,
It's-
boys.
The bay's alive with these little pinkies at the moment, which is a good sign for the future. handled carefully, they'll come back, and hopefully in the next couple of seasons we'll see them come back as a good sized fish.
And if I hold it really close to the camera, it'll look even bigger.
Yeah, but Sandy's only new in the bait business. I'm hearing good reports from all my mates in the charter industry that are using his product, so if you see it anywhere, give it a go, you won't be disappointed. And that's not being a paid advertisement. All good, thank you.
It's a little gummy shark, mate.
Yeah,
Just a little pup.
little one.
Yeah,
See, the bay is good out here, isn't it?
it is. See you later, mate. There you
Off he
go.
goes. And better luck in a couple of years' time, mate. You come back and he's going to be, good 15 kilos or something.
Yeah, a couple of years.
There.
Mate, the gummy sharks are a particularly good story. It's in Victoria, the professionals actually restricted their own catch of gummy sharks going back probably about 10 years ago now. We've also had all the pro netting eliminated from Western Port Bay. So we've got this rise in the amount of gummy sharks. We're actually probably getting a bit better at catching them as well, but the amount of gummies that are being caught in Western Port and Port Phillip Bay for that matter now really shows good signs for the future. I love it when a drag goes off when you're talking.
And then you lost it.
Yeah, oh well, such is life. But no, the gummies are good. We're seeing some good signs of life on the gummies all around, and good quality fish. I do notice there's a bit of a push at the moment for putting slot limits on gummy sharks. So in other words, a size limit, letting all the big females go. Personally, I think a code of conduct. I think most fishermen nowadays are a little bit more environmentally conscious. When you get that big gummy, that big pregnant female up to the side of the boat, I think most people nowadays let it go. But for the odd person that's out there that comes down from the bush once a year to come on a charter with us or come out for a fish in Western Port Bay, I don't blame anyone for taking home a feed.
Just a couple of tips on fishing Western Port. It is a hard fishery if you're new to it. What you do is you follow the signs. If you're coming along the edges, we're on the middle spit here now, we're on the French Island side of the middle spit. But what you try and look for is where there's a little drain that runs off or a sand hole. Basically we fish between 15 and 21 foot, which is 4.5 to 6.5 metres. Why we do that is that's as far as the light penetrates for the weed beds, so in that 21 foot range the weed beds don't grow much further down than that, so you want to fish on the edges of that and look for signs. I'll be driving along in the boat and I'll see a group of swans. There's none here today, but I'll see a group of swans and I'll anchor down tide from them because they're ripping up the roots and things out of whatever they're eating, and they're letting a bit of food, so it's a natural burley trail wash down. And quite often I'll say, oh, that duck over there just told me there's fish here, and people laugh at me. I'll pull up, we'll get fish. How did the ducks know? They're not ducks, they're swans. But those birds are signs that there's food around. Where there's food, you will find fish. So look for any little drains that are running off the banks on a draining tide. Sand holes, if you fish in the sand holes around a bit of weed, you're a good chance of catching a whiting.
And of course, Blackjack's other nickname is Wombat. Eats fruits and leaves.
I don't like leaves. Okay. Yes, just a little history on Katrina Louise. Katrina Louise was built in 1965 in San Remo by a bloke by the name of Billy Mitchell. It was originally built as a crayfishing boat and spent its first few lives in San Remo working out in Bass Street getting crayfish. Then it went commercial netting. About 37 years ago it was bought by John Stuber and it ran out of Uringa as a charter boat, and it's been chartering Western Port ever since then. It's been probably responsible for more whiting over its lifetime than anybody I know. It's a great fishing platform. She's an old 32 foot diagonal plank spotted gum boat, and as I said, it's like, well, you see us out here now, it's like fishing on a jetty. It's not the fastest boat in the fleet, but these days not everything is about getting there quick. You don't have to travel as far. When you're cruising along at a leisurely rate, you don't have to hang on for your life, and it's very comfortable. We take up to 10 passengers. We try and cap it at around 6 to 8 because that gives everybody a little bit more room, but she's a lovely old girl to fish off. I've been running it on and off for the past 12 years for different owners. When John bought it and asked me if I wanted to run it, I said no, but I still love the old girl, so here I am doing it again. and loving every minute of it.
The thing about fishing on a boat like this is, you're quite right, it's not about bang, 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 let's get out there, bang, 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 let's kill the fish, bang, 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 let's get home again. It's about coming out and having a great day out on the water, catching a few fish, but it's all about having some fun and some relaxation, because that's what we all need in this rat race nowadays. I'd like to catch a few more fish at the moment. What spot's this you brought us to, Skipper?
This is
The gummy hole.
The gummy hole. Maybe we should put a gummy bait out.
Sure, not the muggle. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Ooh, nice fish. Hey?
give us a look, Sandy. Mate,
it's all right.
it's all right. You're not impressed today, are you, mate?
That's fishing. Yeah, that's fishing.
Little secret to the whiting fishing we were talking about before, when the bell rings and the telephone rings or whatever the case may be, and you get that whiting and he comes along and he goes that little tap tap, and then he goes tap tap, you got to go hit. Well, tubular sort of rod holders like this, how do you go hit? By the time you go you've lost that fish. So you'll notice, very, very simple little bait cord rod holder combination that we've done here. Diamond shaped rod holders. They'll take any size rod butt, plant it in there. That fish comes along, goes, hello, I'm here, and struck straight, right on cue. That worked well, didn't it? I think I missed the fish, but the whole point being, we could strike straight out of that rod, straight out of the rod holder, no obstruction, and usually catch the fish. Didn't that time. We will this time. Yep. Sweet.
Team event.
Team event.
Oh, and look at the size of the fish.
Oh. Yeah,
Oh no, now we're really getting the tank. But shows it works. There you go.
shows your fish you got, mate.
Oh mate, have a look at that.
Are you embarrassed?
It's not the world's smallest flathead, but goes close. Looks like a flathead, only smaller. Where's their hook? A lot of people muck around with flathead. Too many sharp spines for me. The simple hook, they're a couple of bucks to go and buy. Look at that, bang, bang, bang. When you get really good, you'll be able to get one in a fish box from 10 metres. But didn't touch it, no harm to the fish. Away we go. $2 hook.
On down, on down.
This is
What
not
we
a
got
bad.
here, John?
It's not a bad fish. It's only a whiting.
Nice size.
Only a whiting. We'll just drop him in the net. Oh!
Oh, you did
Hockey
not
one,
do
hockey
that.
two.
Watch out the rod.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
up with it.
They're onto it, no worries.
This is why we came to this
Is
spot.
that
It's a little bit deeper.
little whiting? Did I? Oh, Sandy, did I catch the largest whiting of the day? I think we better put that one on the lie
Now,
detector, hadn't we?
Oh, you know who's ringing? That's a slab charge when the camera's on.
That'd be someone who cares. Now that's what we come here for. Look at that. Hey, that is a lovely little Western Port whiting. Is he 42s? Somewhere in there. Let's have a look, Brian. Oh no, he's only gone 40.
Oh, so it's not as big as mine.
Oh yeah, just a touch over 40. But he's a nice fish. He's plump. He's fat. He's looking good. A couple of them make you real happy. One makes me happy, I can tell you.
Title.
Still got the title. Sandy Seal, Sandy Seal. They're in the deeper water now, and we're not getting as many fish, but when we get them, they're pretty good.
Captain Blackjack made a promise to get you a nice big fat whiting because little skinny ones just don't cut the mustard.
Oh,
do
thank
they?
you, Captain Blackjack.
Turned out to be a
And look at this.
And this is a nice
And it's
fish.
a nice
This is
fish.
probably
We
a
might
net
just-
job.
Oh, look at that, eh?
Oh,
And I'll tell you what, you've got to be slow to catch him that deep down. He must have been there for a while before I hooked him, eh?
Yeah, no. Well,
Isn't that a beautiful fish? Eh?
Western Port's fine.
Western Port, it is Western Port's finest. You're catching that size fish, mate, that's just lovely. Thank you very much. So, I wonder if I can get my hook back.
Now,
You will.
who's
I don't
got the
think so.
crown now?
Oh, look, I just wear the crown because I'm the bear. So I don't know.
On the
I
scale,
reckon-
Who knows?
Far
On the
Look, you
scale.
always know you've won when the fish has got blubbery lips.
Got a pair of
Eh?
scissors.
And it was Sandy's bait that caught it for us, wasn't it?
There we go.
Another bycatch. While we were bringing up a flathead there, this squid followed it up. And once you see them, we just throw a jig out and that's another little bit of something for tea.
But the secret is, put the flathead back in the water. If they'll follow a whiting up, they'll follow anything up. The secret is keep that bait in the water, keep it interested while you organise your squid jig, and you'll end up with that every time.
Nice little
But
calamari.
keep the flathead down, keep the bait down, because there's quite often 2 or 3 of them. Not this time. But at the end of the day, it's been another good day. Katrina Louise, Western Port. Mate, what do you think?
I reckon this is a magnificent boat to come out with your family. And that roast was something else, John. It really was.
Certainly was.
And a real big thanks to the offsider here and to Sandy for coming with us. And what else would you like to say? I don't know what I'm saying today. You can do it, John.
No, there's nothing much more to say. Beautiful sunny day.
Oh,
Got a bit of
isn't it?
breeze today. It's been difficult with
We've
the
got
wind
some
in the
fish.
east.
You
got
promised
some
fish. You
We
did
promised
promise.
we did.
And delivered.
And delivered.
And they're not baby fish, you know. Some of those are horses.
Yep.
They're what you come out here to catch. So we sort of tried hard to catch better quality fish than numbers. On
Yep.
another day we might have got 80 or 90 fish. Today we ended up with 30 or 40, but they're all good quality fish. And we got a nice little calamari there just to make some little squid rings to go with it. So no, all up, I've had a good time and been a pleasure to have the boys on top. Very pleased with this man's burley and bait. His burley
Yes,
does the
you're
job.
doing a good job, aren't you,
No
mate?
We didn't have to burley him at the end of the day.
No, we didn't
No,
either.
that was
No,
one of
so
the
that's
options,
all right.
but we didn't need to use it, so...
Even though I was behind the camera most of the day, I did actually catch the biggest one for the day.
Is that right? We'd like to clarify
I better
that.
shut up while I'm in front.
Now listen, Mr. Cameraman, you better follow this. Over he goes.
Not with the new phone.
But this is what it's all about. Western
Just
Port,
having
beautiful
fun,
bright
guys.
sunny day, bit of fun, lovely old stable boat. She's a ripper, the old Katrina Louise, and having fun fishing.
Yes.
That's fishing.
So any...
That's not fishing.
Yep.
This is
He's
fishing.
talking again. This is fishing, yeah. Now, for any information about this boat or anything about this charter,
Don't ring me.
don't ring him or email him. Go to www.thatsfishing.com.au and you can find all the information. And once again, guys, thank you for a great day out.
All good, anytime.
pleasure.
No worries.
All right. Now, Danny Dan here also has a section on boating stuff, all sorts of little bit of accessories, including a stereo in the background, which you probably can hear. Yep. But you've got all sorts of bits and bobs in here. Yes. Mate, you've got rod holders, you've got rods, you've got bait boards.
Yep.
What else have you got, mate?
Well, we've basically got a full range of electronics.
Yep.
So marine and radios and sounders and plotters.
Yep.
Full range of rod holders and bait boards, etc. We've also got a massive range of trailer equipment. So if you're actually doing
I
maintenance,
forgot about that. Yeah, like your rollers,
Yeah.
and straps and hooks and
Yeah.
things like that for your trailers.
yeah, all that bearing
carry-
buddies,
you got
grease. Yes.
bearing buddies as well.
Yep. If you're doing repairs to your boat, you can see in our back section there we've got a full lighting section. We've also got a lot of stuff to do with rod holders that you can clip things in and out of your boat and all of that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Obviously oil, grease, all of that we have as well. So
So there you go, guys. If you've got to do any maintenance on your boat, well, you can come down here and...
one-stop fishing shop.
well, that's what we're hoping, aren't
That's
you?
it.
All right, well,
No worries.
let's get this coffee happening, mate.
Coffee time.
Coffee.